I simply use the psychological research to explain why there may be fewer women interested in current tech jobs and how we could change those jobs to make them more welcoming to more women.
You cited, among other reasons, that women might not have the temperament for moving beyond. You said neuroticism, higher anxiety, lower stress tolerance. This may contribute to the higher levels of anxiety that women report, and that the lower number of women in high-stress jobs.
This is a well-founded finding in psychology that women report higher levels of stress on surveys. If we make the job just less stressful, less 80-hour weeks, then we can make it just more appealing to more women.
I'm not threatened by different viewpoints being discussed. It seems like today everybody's a snowflake and can't hear a different viewpoint. I think that, women should be free to make their own choices. What James was trying to do in his memo is point out how Google could do a better job of attracting women and make it more attractive to women.
Google's firing of James Damore over his memo that questioned the role of biology in career choices between men and women was legal. The firing was legal. That's according to the Federal Labor Board. Our own Neil Cavuto had James Damore's first exclusive interview after that ruling today. Google stock, a parent company Alphabet, closing the day in the green, up 0.75%. Joining me now, Payton with the Federalist and Democrat strategist Kelly Grace Gibson. Kelly, first to you. I say, everybody's entitled to their opinions. I'm not sure the science on what James Damore is saying is settled. Those are his opinions. Should Silicon Valley just have one big public town hall where everybody gets hash it out with James Damore?
No, I mean, Google was allowed to set in place rules and standards by which one employee gets to treat another employee. And you can't put something out that makes other employees feel discriminated against or made to feel uncomfortable. And that's precisely what he did, based on findings that are not, he said very founded, but there's differing opinions in that field. Here we are, 3 women on this panel. I'm not sure any of us are worried about how stressed out we're going to get. So the company was allowed to make a decision based on those rules, and they fired him.
No, I hear exactly what you're saying. I understand exactly what you're saying. Bree, my opinion is just have everybody talk, and then hash it out. To Kelly's point, Google did not break the law firing Damore. The Labor Board said Google rightfully has its own policies in place. Damore violated its policies on harassment and discrimination. His memo was so harmful and disruptive, they had to fire him. What do you think?
Yeah, whether or not what Google did is legal isn't really the problem. At the end of the day, our Silicon Valley overlords are not tolerant to opinions and people that they don't agree with and people that they disagree with. And Google does this all the time. And this is exactly the problem that conservatives say is the problem with Google and how they are so biased and how they treat conservatives and conservative opinions. Just recently Google launched its fact checker in partnership with Snopes to fact-check news sites in order to alert searchers against fake news. Okay, so if you Google thefederalist.com, which is where I write, it'll tell you that we've made a number of claims that we have not made. It'll tell you a bunch of lies about our website that you can just basically click on the links yourself and see that Snopes is garbage.
Okay.
And this is what Google does routinely, as they partner and do things to silence conservatives.
All right, so, let's get back to you, Kellyanne. All right, Damore talked about the bias within Silicon Valley, the groupthink there. He said women have a heightened neuroticism. He noted men's prevalence at the top of the IQ distribution. Let's listen to him talk. Listen.
80% of conservatives feel like they can't bring up social issues at work in Silicon Valley. And it's really unclear what exactly you can or can't say, which just adds to the chilling effect. You don't know anyone that voted for Trump because no one is willing to admit that they did. There were many people that showed their support privately, but told me that they really weren't willing to show any public support because they too feared that they would get fired. They definitely tried to smear me as some misogynist, racist, crazy person. And I was really just trying to improve the workplace.
All right. I've read through what he said, and, this whole argument seems to be ripped off its moorings. I'm not even sure what Damore said can be called a conservative viewpoint. It's naive analysis of science that's very much in play still. Conservative women don't agree with him. But again, I think Silicon Valley just have a public town hall and say, James Damore, pony up. Let's show your science that you think you have solid opinions about, and let's debate it.
I think the whole thing is like conservatives can say their viewpoints. They just don't like what they hear back. This happens in all other parts of the country where there is more of a political preference. It happens in the South that liberals don't talk out loud about their viewpoints because they don't like what they get back. If you're okay with what you get back, you can say whatever you want. You're not going to get fired. What Google was doing was they were protecting women and people of color in their workplace from somebody who is just putting vitriol out there. And that is their job as an employer, to make everyone feel safe and heard and do the best job they can. And that's what they did. And so, like, it's a supportive environment.
If you're interested in the debate, go read what James Damore wrote. You'll be pretty surprised at what he thinks. Bree, Kelly, good to see you both. Thanks so much for coming on.